You just had to mention Sonic 06, didn't you, ShadowXZ? You just had to get me thinking about this, didn't you? Damn it! Sonic 06 ruins everything! What's up, everybody? StevDeS here. Oh, ShadowXZ. You know not the can of worms you hath wrought upon this channel. Shortly after getting that mention about the comment, I had just left the bar with my buddy Big Mike. We just played a few games of pool as I was thinking about what to do next, and sure enough, you had to send this comment. For you, I'll do a shadow voice. I really like this. Then, no, there is no way to save them unless Silver goes back in time sooner than everyone's screwed, 'cause Mephiles sent him back in time in the first place, and he discovered time travel 'cause of Shadow, but Shadow is dead, so everyone dies in the Mephiles saga. Then, no, I absolutely love this. You answered my what if question. Well, I'm about to answer it some more, because this is What If Sonic Never Met Tails Part 2. In the last part, Dr. Eggman finally won because Sonic was rotting in a jail cell, there was no Tails to save him, and Knuckles was absolutely oblivious as to what was happening on the Ark. The only hero that really recognized what was going on was Amy, and when Rouge tried to use her gun agent sort of thing to get a hand here, instead, well, she was easily overpowered. Now Shadow, or Super Shadow I should say, is fighting the entirety of the Bio-Lizard on the side of the Ark by himself, and he can't last for very much longer. Using his computers in the future, Mephiles is realizing that he's about to not exist from this. So he does something that he knew he has to do in order for the timeline to keep going. He has to go into the past. Unlike your comment, ShadowXZ, I decided that we should look at what Mephiles can do. Because, let's face it, he really wouldn't be altering time that much. He's just making sure that he can unite with Iblis eventually. His centuries-long plan, much like Xehanort in the Kingdom Hearts series, still has to go on. So since he knows the timeline of events, he can be sure that Planet Mobius stays in one piece just until he's ready to do what he wants. It wouldn't be hard for someone like him to be sure that this happens, and he wouldn't rely on Silver because he still has yet to really get on Silver's good side at this point. This is before the time period of the future of Sonic 06, where Silver, Blaze, and Mephiles all go to the past. Since he needs Silver to kill the Iblis Trigger, aka Sonic, Mephiles is going to go to the past and save Sonic from the jail cell. However, he also can't reveal who he is. Luckily for him, he's got that body. He could just say he's an old man Shadow from the future, and he knows what he has to do to be sure the world stays afloat. Even in as hopeless as it is, there's still a future for this planet. There are plenty of rings in the area, so this would be a nice bonus on Sonic Adventure 2, where you play as Mephiles, aka Shadow, and collect as many rings as you can so Sonic can go up to the Ark. Here we're introduced to Mephiles relatively early on, where a lot of inexperienced gamers would label him as a hero. He would actually end up being far less. He's just doing this to get his mission done. But with Mephiles' power, it's not hard for him to break into the facility and rescue the Iblis Trigger. What? Shadow, what are you doing here?
I'm not the Shadow of your time, Hedgehog. I'm from the future, and your world is about to cease existing. You must help my younger self and stop the Ark from crashing into this planet.
Okay, so let's say I believe you on this from the future shtick, old man Shadow. How do I get to this Ark thing? And that's when Mephiles does what he usually does, only instead of teleporting through time, he teleports through space. And sends Sonic up to the Ark where Rouge, Eggman, and Amy are all watching Shadow start to falter. But StevDeS, how is Mephiles doing this? If he does this, then he's messing with the time, and then the timey-wimey. Just calm down. I'll explain it. Just hold on. I'm not just gonna throw this to the wall and see if it sticks. I've had thoughts about it. Just calm down. I'll get to that. Eggman is fearful that Shadow is losing this, and things could not be worse. And then the blue blur makes the scene, and for once Eggman's happy to see him. Sonic tells the doctor to just make quick with the Chaos Emeralds and make it snappy because he's got a bunch of rings for Shadow too. Just as Super Shadow's about to run out of rings, here comes Super Sonic, tossing a few capsules at him and ready to fight alongside him. Super Shadow is bewildered to see Super Sonic. However, when it comes down to this, he's happy Sonic showed up. Together, they chaos control the Bio Lizard off of the Ark, and the day is saved. However, this timeline is different at the end of Sonic Adventure 2 because Sonic has enough steam to save Shadow following the final blast, as it were. But why would Sonic save Shadow? Because Shadow saved Sonic. Eventually, Sonic will be friends with him. It'll take a while, but at least Sonic knows he can trust Shadow. Sonic would give 5 of the Chaos Emeralds to Knuckles, entrusting Shadow's iconic Chaos Emerald to him and keeping 1 for himself, so that Shadow can teach him how to use Chaos Control. That move's gonna come in handy in the future. With that, our heroes get through Sonic Adventure 2. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that Sonic 06 saves this timeline. Of all the games in the series, why the hell did it have to be Sonic 06? Don't worry. My fury is justified. Sonic has a reason for keeping the Chaos Emeralds, though. Eggman has a huge space station under his control. Sonic's gonna need those in case Eggman uses it. The next big game where Tails plays a role is Sonic Heroes. With the rest of the teams the way they are, there is a few spots that need to be filled, especially for the flight of Team Sonic. Sonic and Knuckles would still indeed be on the team, but there is a character that can fill the flight role. Ray, the flying squirrel. He's helping Sonic and Knuckles because, yeah, Ray and Mighty have been fighting Eggman as long as Sonic has. Not to mention, Ray wants to know how Mighty's doing, and whenever he sees Sonic, he knows he's gonna run into Mighty. However, his short mission would indeed come to an abrupt end, but he'd still stick around with Team Sonic, because after Stage 4 Power Plant, that's when he finds Mighty. Yeah, remember? Big's dead. And if Ray's looking for Mighty, Mighty the Armadillo is looking for Ray. Therefore, Team Rose would consist of Amy, Cream, and Mighty the Armadillo. Instead of Big finding Froggy, it's Mighty looking for Ray. It fits! And it brings back 2 of the most original characters the Sonic franchise has to offer. So, in the end, okay, this part I'm glad about. However, the rival battle would still happen, but it ends on more positive terms regardless who the winner is. The game Shadow the Hedgehog goes a little smoother with the thought that Tails' role isn't big, and considering the different ways that the game could end, it wasn't a good game, alright? Anything Tails did in the game, Gun could do better. The next big game in the timeline would be Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, which, yeah, anything Tails would do, Gun would be able to do. Gun's got the technology. And with Sonic and Shadow being on good terms, Shadow's on good terms with Rouge. Rouge is a gun agent, meaning Rouge is on good terms with Sonic. Make sense? I hope so. Now we get to the reason this video exists in the first place. Sonic 06. You know what pains I went through in order to be sure that my my information was accurate for you, ShadowXZ. I played through the whole game again! That hellish thing that was spawned through the darkness, deeper darkness than Mephiles himself. You're a sick subscriber. Thank you for subscribing, though. So for proper research, I put myself through that hell again, because I actually own the game. And honestly, Tails plays a minimalistic role, as far as what you see. There's several times where Tails goes off screen and does stuff to make sure Sonic can do his stuff in his story. As much as I hate reusing the characters because they're good characters, well, let me rephrase that. As much as I love using the characters Ray the Flying Squirrel and Mighty the Armadillo, I hate the fact that I'm using them for this game in the timeline. However, Ray and Mighty are always welcome in the Sonic franchise. I just hate that they're being used in this game of all the games. So anything Tails did, Mighty and Ray together would be able to do it. Tails didn't do a whole lot of high-tech stuff. He didn't even fly the tornado, and that's one of the things he's known for. How could you... Calm down. It's a game. Let's go. In this timeline, however, Sonic does meet with Knuckles, and Ray and Mighty are in tow. The first time Tails is needed is to distract Eggman's robots, something that Ray and Mighty can do. And the next thing is to help find White Acropolis, which, honestly, again, something that they both can do. So, Tails' smarts weren't really used in Sonic 06, which sucks, but Sonic 06 sucks. The first time Elise is kidnapped, Ray and Mighty would be more than happy to take on Eggman's robots and give Sonic an escape. Until the stupid woman decides to get kidnapped again. Seriously, that's all this game is Sonic chasing after Elise, constantly getting kidnapped. Knuckles, however, is bad at his job because he regroups with Sonic after Eggman reveals that he has all 7 Chaos Emeralds, except the one that Sonic has with him. Yeah, he even got Shadow's Chaos Emerald, go figure. The four meet up with Rouge and Shadow, who are now full-time gun agents, and they're a little more willing to work with Sonic. In this timeline, Shadow and Sonic have their rivalry, but because Old Man Shadow helped Sonic once upon a time, Sonic has more of a reason to be friends with Shadow. Sonic gets to the room with Mephiles, Silver, and Blaze about to go to the past so that Silver can go kill the Iblis Trigger, when they discover that Old Man Shadow was actually Mephiles, and Mephiles wants Sonic dead now. It would take Ray and Mighty a little bit longer to find out what happened, but eventually they would go through the computers, they'd be able to find out that Elise dies, and that's why this future is so messed up. Everything from that point on pretty much happens the same, including Elise choosing to blow out the fire so Solaris never existed. Now, I know what you're thinking. If the flames were blown out, Mephiles wouldn't have gone to the past to save Sonic in the first place. We'd be back to square one. Two things. One, multiverse theory. Oh boy, that's a can of worms to open. The second is actually my personal logic as far as how this can happen. You see, Mephiles went to the past to begin with in order to free Sonic, and Sonic was freed purely because Mephiles went to the past in order to free him. Past, present, future. It all flows. Because Mephiles didn't meddle in the timeline really heavily, the timeline was able to stay consistent. If he had, say, went to Ark and helped everybody and was an active member from there, nothing would have changed. He still would be the Mephiles from that future going to the past, saving Sonic, and riding that out. In Mephiles' timeline, Mephiles started all the way back when he was a bunch of goo, part of Solaris, the dark half of Solaris, while Iblis was the light, more destructive half, all the way until present day, where Shadow eliminates him. It's all written in stone. It's a straight timeline where Mephiles had to be at a certain place at a certain time, or his timeline wouldn't exist. The future exists because of the different choices we make and where people are at certain times. Because Mephiles was there, the timeline is able to continue. And this timeline will continue in the very last part. Eventually. So what do you think? Could multiverse theory be a thing here? Is there a detail I might have overlooked? Or do you think that this does concisely continue this part? Leave your comment below. I'm always looking to reading them.
You did this to me, ShadowXZ. I better see your comment on this video.
But thanks for subscribing. And for more what ifs in the realm of video gaming, go ahead and subscribe. Like, check out the first part of this timeline where I thought that the world was over. Sonic 06 ruins everything. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. And, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
This is all your fault, you son of a... Die for me! Die for me!